So I'm Julie Turner, clinical hypnotherapist, and
I'm Corinne Ropp, clinical hypnotherapist.
so once again we were having a lovely little chat, and we are gonna do a video, and we were having this marvelous conversation. So we had to videotape it because we are brilliant when we're just talking to each other. Hopefully, we have something to say to you guys as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I think we're going to have some fun and a little bit of information that's going to spark a conversation, which I think is what these videos are about, right? How to spark a conversation.
I sure hope so, because that's what it's all about, is just awareness, right? That's all I want, is to spread awareness, help people learn a little bit more about themselves and maybe about the things that are holding them back. What could possibly be holding people back?
Oh my God, you mean the limiting beliefs? All of those limiting beliefs that we have right from the second we're born. I don't know. It's just kind of funny how those neural pathways just kind of get managed throughout our childhood. So I think talking about limiting beliefs is a great thing. I think limiting beliefs, if you don't believe that you have them, that's limiting. That's called denial, which is also a limiting belief. And I think we all have different things that we have that create challenges. So I know you and I were talking earlier, and one of the things that you have worked on and have managed so beautifully was what?
Well, we were talking before about the very basic limiting beliefs. And there's two major schools, or camps, as I like to call them.
Yep.
And my camp is the fear of rejection. So I've been a people pleaser most of my life because God forbid somebody reject me. So Corinne, what would the other camp be?
Oh, yeah, that control thing, where you have to have control of everything. Like everything is very calculated. Everything's very methodical. You control everything that's around you. Yeah, that would be me. If I didn't have control, then I didn't trust what was going on in my environment. And so I struggled really hard to control everything. No spontaneity and no fun either.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was a lot of spontaneity because I had to jump through hoops to please everybody. So that was never a problem for me. But I just love that both Corinne and I, we have similar opinions on so many things, but we come from vastly different directions in what our core limiting beliefs were. So it's all, it's developed in childhood, but again, these are very big overviews. And fear of rejection is no longer a problem for me. But there's no question that in the past, I couldn't say maybe what I wanted to say in a situation, even if I was maybe even in danger or felt super, super uncomfortable. My fear of rejection far outweighed my fear of losing control. I would hand you control. Please don't reject me.
Yeah, that was actually a big one. I mean, I think 50% of the population has that fear of rejection.
Yeah.
The loss of control or fear of death, that's the other part to that control thing.
Yes.
For me, it literally paralyzed me. If things didn't go right, I would become paralyzed. I wouldn't even know what to do. If I couldn't control it, it was like I didn't want any part of it. So much of my childhood was just blanketed with I have no control over anything, and I needed to have some semblance of safety. So then you begin to control. And so keep in mind, when I was feeling that control, that was how I protected myself. That was how I kept myself safe. And the rejection for you is also how you keep yourself safe as well. So these aren't good, bad, right, wrong conversations.
No.
They're simply conversations that these are what we do to protect ourselves. And so what do we do? Or what did you and I do? I think probably most people would want to know what you and I did in order to get over that rejection or get over that control or lack of control. So for you, what is it that you did that supported you to get through that?
Well, for myself, it was a huge, I didn't accept myself. That was the big thing. So until you actually accept yourself, there's the three big ones: accept yourself, trust yourself, love yourself, as Corinne has taught us. Until you do those things truly for yourself, then you are going to have these fears, especially a fear of rejection. For me, because I didn't accept myself. So I learned to accept myself. And absolutely hypnosis played a huge part for me. My inner voice was one that was extremely detrimental. And I believed inside of myself that to motivate myself, I had to be mean. Now, again, limiting belief system, that motivation comes from being pushed. Meanwhile, it truly, truly does not. Instead of force, allow. So a supportive inner voice. And that's what I built with hypnosis. With the help of Corrine, of course, because she was the person that introduced me to it. And I am very grateful.
Me too. The world too.
And you know what's very interesting is, as we're having this conversation, I'm thinking about clients that I help. And I tend to have a lot of clients that come, not, I would say it's slightly edges over the 50% that I have a lot of fear of control clients, which is very interesting to me because it's kind of the opposite of what was my major problem. But it's so easy for me, not having that fear of control, to just point it out very matter-of-factly, very logically, which is what people that love control love. They love their logic. So pointing it out very logically that it's an illusion, that you never actually do have control, no matter how hard you try.
Well, it's always interesting to me, like when you think about control, we're on a planet going 163,000 miles an hour in a galaxy where there's more planets than an airbag. Right?
I got those.
With all those other, that's awesome. So, but those other planets that are so much bigger than ours, and we actually think we have some semblance of control. Now, if that is not ego, I don't know what is.
Right.
Like, seriously, I'm so much bigger than that bigger planet that's bigger than us. So it always is interesting to me how that process is. But again, it's a whole sense of protection. For me, control, how it showed up for me was in business. I had to have everything mapped out. And if things started to go a little bit strange, I didn't want any part of it. And every time I would get scared or fearful in my business, I know the first year of my business, that was in 2007. I remember renting this place was $2,000 a month. And it was like, wow, that's so much money. Like, I don't know. And I did it for a year and a half. No problem. Didn't have any issues. And then all of a sudden I got fear and I went, oh, hold on. Okay. So I backed away and I moved to a different place that was a lot less expensive. Do you know what that cost me?
Oh,
probably $500,000. Because instead of pushing through that fear and paying $2,000 a month in rent and just knowing that I could actually create that, I went, I can't control this, so I'm going to simply control what I can. And I went into a much lower thing, but so did my income.
You owned the fear instead of
went down because I didn't trust myself. And that's the biggest thing for control people, is that they don't trust themselves. And I didn't trust that I could do what was going to make business. And today, $2,000 is like a piece of cake. Got that, no problem, hands down. Mindset change. And hypnosis is one of those things that actually supports you to get rid of those limiting beliefs. I know for me, that's the only thing that helped. Everything else, affirmations, they don't help unless you are in hypnosis or in a relaxed state.
Yes.
So you can say, I trust myself all freaking day, and guess what? Nothing's going to happen. So if that's what you're doing, please take 3 deep breaths, go into a nice relaxed state first, then say, I trust myself, and you'll get so much further ahead.
Yeah, I think people need to understand that if they're just using willpower to make these affirmations, willpower is a muscle. Willpower lessens by the end of the day, every single day. So if you're trying to use willpower instead of actually change the way your mind works, change what you're thinking, change those belief systems from many, many years ago, willpower is not going to get you very far.
The other thing is, like we often talk about, so every day we have thoughts come into our conscious mind, and the subconscious mind sends a response. It's automatic. You don't even know where that response comes from. And there isn't any way to find out where that response comes from except in hypnosis.
That is true.
Any other way. Like people can say, oh, I meditated on it. And meditation is awesome. Don't get me wrong. All of these other modalities are really great. But to find out in truth where it all began, you need to go into that hypnotic state in order to get that. So find a local hypnotherapist. Find somebody that you resonate with and trust, because it really is the best way, the fastest way to support getting rid of those limiting beliefs. I'd still have them if I didn't have hypnosis, for sure.
Speaking of finding a local hypnotherapist, we don't always say where we're from and where we're working.
Right.
I personally am downtown Vancouver, Canada. We both can work on Zoom or phone call. I personally love to have my clients in front of me. I like reading energy. I like being around them. But I absolutely work online. I have clients all over the world. And where are you working?
Well, I do have an office in Coquitlam. So our training center is actually in Coquitlam. So we train hypnotherapists. We certify hypnotherapists. There's 3 schools in the valley that actually do that. I'm one of them, or actually in BC, I should say. And then I also have an office in Abbotsford. So we're actually in the valley as well. And so I do a lot of work out of New Leaf Wellness Clinic. I love them. They're just an amazing, if you need any physical work, they're about the whole body, which is really great. Little plug for them. It's always good for them. And we have some special programs that we have there that I don't have anywhere else either, which is kind of a nice thing. And then I have my home office in Abbotsford. And again, I have clients around the world, just as you do. That's the wonderful thing about this business, is that it's not limited. You're not limited anymore. Like,
we don't like limits.
Amazing.
We're not fans of limits. We like to
no limits at all. Do whatever you love. Like we were talking about that earlier too.
Yes.
Limiting beliefs stop you from doing what you love to do. I mean, I don't know how many people my age, and I'm not going to tell you how old that is. Oh yes, I will. I was 52. But the whole thing, I'm not having a problem with that.
It's so secretive.
No secret, doesn't matter to me. But the thing with the whole limit things, like at my age, it's about, you think about, I used to do a class and it was like 30 years from now, what do you want to be proud of? When you're 80 years old, you're looking back at your life, what are you most excited about? I think about that and I go, that's 28 years from now. That's kind of a scary thing. So a lot of people, women, men, my age, are looking at, what can I do? Am I doing what I really want to do? It is really important to do what you love to do, because if limiting beliefs have stopped you from being the artist you really wanted to be, or to make a difference and impact in somebody else's life, then you need to see a hypnotherapist so that you can get on that.
Yes, and we can help.
Correct. We can help.
What's very interesting is probably, many, many years ago, I did that. It's your 80th birthday and you're standing up in front of your friends and you're saying what you're most proud of. And I remember doing that, and this was years ago, and saying that I helped set people free. I wasn't a hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
And I just knew that that's what my goal was going to be in life. That's what I wanted to do. And I truly am so grateful that I get to do that every day. I get to help people free in every way. So.
And that is what hypnotherapy is really about. It's about getting your power back, first of all, and setting yourself free to do whatever it is that you choose to do.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. I can't say enough about it, for sure. Anyway, are we done?
I think we're done for today. I think everybody gets to go, and they just get to go and be awesome now.
For sure. It's fall. It's fall, so the fall weather. I love fall. It's one of my.
It's my favorite time of year. I got so rained on this morning, though, but I'm in my place now, in my little office, snug as a bug in a rug, so I'm happy. But fall's my favorite time of year, for sure. Yeah.
I bought fall garden mums for the outside of my house, because I've just renovated the outside of my house.
Right. She can't stop playing in the dirt. I don't know what's wrong with her.
I love playing in the dirt. It's so fun. You would be a great 4-year-old, that's for sure. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. Julie and I are going to be back next week. We'll be putting this on Facebook as well as our website. So we really appreciate if you have any comments or feedback. Just let us know. If there's something you want us to talk about, we're doing this every week. We are going to change the way people think about hypnotherapy and standardize a level of hypnotherapy across this country. So we want to help you, and so that you can help people that are around you. So it's very awesome. So thank you so much for listening and tuning in.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.